Hi everyone, this is Dr. Richard O'Connor at the Jesse A. Marcel Library, and I'm here with Bryan, who has been to the library several times and shared with us his UFO encounter that he's agreed to tell us about. And I would like to thank Bryan for coming to the library and having the courage to share with those that are interested what happened when he and his friend were driving down the highway and had a pretty up-close UFO sighting. So Bryan, why don't you go ahead and tell us your story?
Okay. Yeah, we were traveling from west to east in northwestern Washington in a pickup truck, and it had one dog in it with the two of us. I was the passenger, the driver was on my left, and there was a valley on the left, and the highway actually was quite windy at that point because we were going up a hill, and the valley was on the left. It was probably a quarter mile across if you went straight across the top of it, and it was vegetated. Blue sky day, no wind that I know of. And I was looking out the window, and all of a sudden I saw a strange object in the air, which was roughly 100 feet higher than the road was, so that the blue sky was behind it, and it looked like a flying saucer. And I thought, oh boy. And I wiped the windshield with my left hand right off and a cloth to see if there was something hit the windshield, and then that didn't do anything, and I went like this so it wasn't a glare on the windshield, and I kept watching it all this time, and I said to my friend, do you see that? And he said, yes. And I said, well, I guess I'm not nuts. I see it very clearly, and it's staying parallel with us. We were going about 45 up the hill, and it looked like a typical flying saucer, and it once tilted like this. It was roughly I would say 80 yards from the truck, and it looked like it was about 100 feet in diameter from the bottom. So there's a little bit of shadow under it because I could see the bottom, and it had that dome on the top, and it had a little bit of a dome on the bottom, I guess, but who knows what it was. It was shadowed, but I could see what looked like windows on the bottom part. And this went on, and I thought in my mind, I said, because I'm a Trekkie, I thought, beam me up, Scotty, I'll go. And I watched it another 10-15 seconds, and this whole thing lasted maybe 30 seconds to a minute, and I would guess 45 to a minute that this whole sighting occurred. And then it was paralleling us, and it seemed like it realized that it was being seen, and it just shrunk to nothing in a split second. Probably half a second it took to disappear while I was watching it. And it was like it went straight away into the distance and as it got smaller, but it just happened so quick. Nothing goes that fast. I don't know of how it could do that, and that's what happened.
Okay. Was it shiny metal, or did it look metallic?
It looked aluminum-like.
Did you see any appendages on the surface of it?
No, it's very similar to that little model on top of the bookcase there.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
Very, very similar.
I'll get the model so you can...
Except...
you can show people.
Yeah,
this is the model that he's referring to.
Right. It was also shimmering some because of the sunlight. It looked a little... the sun was hitting it, and it looked shimmering, or even made it look like it was spinning, except the windows on this one were down here on the one I was looking at.
Okay.
I couldn't see the top sides.
Okay.
I could just see a little bit of the top.
And you think this was about 80 yards off the road?
It's my best guess.
So it was pretty close to you. You could see it very clearly.
Oh yeah. 1 o'clock p.m., very bright sun.
Okay. Did you roll down the windows, or could you hear any noise that it was making?
No.
Okay.
My friend kept driving, so the truck was having some noise itself, and we didn't stop, and he didn't want to stop. Well, it was kind of narrow anyway, going up the hill.
Okay. And this lasted for somewhere between 45 seconds and a minute, so you had plenty of time to look at this.
Oh yeah.
Did you see any markings on it that said USAF, or any kind of insignias on it, or any identification marks on it at all?
None.
Okay. You didn't see anybody in the windows, like a being of some kind in the windows?
No, there was no beings that I know of.
How did your friend respond to this? Or did you talk about this later together with your friend?
Not a lot. We acknowledged that it happened, and he did too, which verified to me that it did happen, that I did see something.
Right.
He was more reluctant to talk about it to anybody than I am.
He doesn't really talk about it.
No, as far as I know, he hardly would. When we visited later, say a year or two later, you bring it up, and one of our partners said, "Did you see a UFO? Do you remember the UFO sighting, Russ?" And he said, "Yes."
And that was it.
And he clammed up.
Okay.
But he couldn't look a lot. He was driving.
Okay.
I had my eyes on it all the time.
Right.
Except for blinking.
So he was driving on a windy road and had to keep his eyes on the road. Has this had an impact on your life as far as how you see the universe and our place in it?
It more verified that the universe is, it's forever. It goes on and on and on. There is no end to it. There is no side to it, and therefore the process of finding other beings is almost has to be. There just can't not be other beings, and this may be a being, this may be a spaceship.
Right. Okay. Did you talk to your wife about this event?
Yes, it was my partner, not
okay.
Married.
Right. Okay. And your partner, but you talked about this, and
yeah, she listened quite well, and she's been here a few times on her own and with me at the library.
Right. Okay. I can't think of any other questions that I have. Other people that see this, here at the library, or if you decide to put this out there on the internet, there may be other people that will have comments or questions, but I thank you very much for coming and allowing me to video your story. I think it's an important story because it lets our fellow citizens know that there really is something to this UFO phenomenon. This isn't just people's imaginations. Lots of people are having experiences like this, but not everybody has the courage to allow their story to be videotaped and recorded in this way. So you're doing the world a service, in my opinion, by letting other people know that this is something that is real, and it's important that we pay attention to it. So thank you very much. And do you have any other comments?
Yes, I agree. That's important to get these recorded, and the more of those people that cite these things say something and get recorded, the more history we've got, and the more we can pass around now on the internet. It's really important because we can learn something.
Absolutely.
And I like learning too. It's a lot of fun.
I agree. And I think that people doing things like you're doing now will only help to accelerate the awareness among our fellow citizens that this is something that is happening and deserves our attention. And so maybe you doing this will inspire other people that have had similar close-up encounters. A lot of times we're led to believe that people that see UFOs, they're just lights in the sky that are miles and miles away and we don't know what they are, you know. But in your case, and in many other cases that I've come across, people are seeing these things in an up-close and personal way, and it's really having an impact on their lives. So
it's like, wow, seeing the Enterprise.
Yeah.
And I'm being a Trekkie, it's really fun to see such a thing, and I'd love to go on a ride with them if they're peaceful.
Absolutely.
Show me around.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Well, thank you very much. Dr. Richard O'Connor at the Jesse A. Marcel Library, signing off.